Hi, students. Today we are going to study a beautiful poem written by William Blake, The Schoolboy, which is written by William Blake. Here you can see the picture of William Blake. Now, who was William Blake? William Blake was born in 1757 and he died in the year 1827. He was one of the greatest poet in the English language, also ranks among the most original visual artists of the Romantic era. What not? He was born in London in 1757 into a working class family with a strong non-conformist religious beliefs. Blake first studied art as a boy at a drawing academy of Henry Paris. Now let's begin with the explanation of the poem The Schoolboy. As the name signifies, this poem is all about a boy who is a school going boy. He is an unhappy child. What is the reason of his unhappiness? This is what we are going to read in this entire poetry. I'm sure most of the children are going to relate themselves with their own situation after reading this poem. Let's begin with the first stanza. I love to rise in the summer morn. Morn refers to the literary term for morning. Who is I here? I refers to the schoolboy who really loves to rise in the summer morning when the birds sing on every tree. So now he is describing the beauty of the summer morning when he gets up. So he is liking the song or the songs which are sung by the birds on each and every tree that he is observing in the morning. The distant huntsman winds his horn. What do you mean by winds? Winds refers to blows his horn. So the huntsman in the morning, when he gets up in the summer morning, he is liking the sound of the horn also. When the huntsmen are blowing the horn, he is liking that sound. He is liking the song that is sung by all the birds. And the skylark sings with me. Who is skylark? Skylark is a very small bird. It's a very tiny bird who sings beautiful songs. Sings with me. Oh, what a sweet company. Now, in this stanza, we are depicting I refers to the schoolboy who is in a very happy mood, who likes the summer morning. He is enjoying the songs that are sung by the birds. He is enjoying the uh, huntsman horn as well, and he's liking the songs that are sung by the skylark bird. So, this is what depicting the first stanza, the happiness of the schoolboy. Let's move to the second stanza. But to go to school in a summer morning. Now he was very happy, but he is referring about another kind of mood that he is having in the second stanza. But to go to school in a summer morning, oh, it drives all joy away. So now he's not liking the fact that he has to go to school in a summer morning. Why? Because it takes away all the joy he had of the summer morning, which was depicted in the previous stanza. Under a cruel eye outworn. What does it refers to? It refers to the cruel eyes of the teacher. He is always under the cruel eyes of the teacher. The little ones spend the days in sighing and dismay. Dismay refers to disappointment and sadness. Sighing is taking a deep breath. So the little one is spending the entire day in disappointment. He is so bored with the cruel eyes of the teacher. He is not liking the environment of the school because outworn refers to the outdated lectures that he is getting from the teachers. So he is not liking the cruel eyes of the teachers, and the outworn is the outdated lectures of the teachers. The little ones are spending their day in just sighing and in sadness. They are spending their entire day. So, this is depicting the school condition of this schoolboy, wherein he is not at all happy to go to school in the summer morning, though the beauty of the summer morning was depicted in the previous stanza. Now, let's move to the third stanza. Then at times I drooping sit. What do you mean by drooping? It's bending down, okay? Drooping sit. and spend many an anxious hour. What do you mean by anxious? Worried. So now he is sitting in a bent position wherein he is spending many hours, anxious hours, worried hours. Nor in my book can I take delight. Now the child is not able to take delight in his books also, nor sit in the learning's bower. What do you mean by bower? Bower refers to the learning place. It can be your seat, it can be the school, it can be any place wherein you sit for your lectures. Okay, so he is not happy in the book that he is reading, nor he is happy in the place where he is studying. Worn through with the dreary shower. Dreary refers to very boring, not at all attractive, not at all attractive, very dull. So he is all tired through all the dreary, very boring showers, the lectures which the teachers are giving him. He is really sad with that fact because he is not finding it appealing at all. Now let's move to the fourth stanza's explanation. How can the bird that is born for joy? Now, the bird who is actually born for joy sit in a cage and sing. Very beautiful line. When a bird who is actually born to fly high in the sky, to have joy in the life, what do you expect? That that same bird who is meant to fly can sit in a cage and sing? No, you cannot expect a bird to be happy in a cage. Why? Because birds are blessed with wings to fly high in the sky. So we cannot expect them to sit in a cage and sing. Similarly, how can a child when fears annoy? And similarly, a child who is really scared of getting scolded by the teachers but droop his tender wing. What do you mean by drooping? Is bending down his tender refers to delicate wings and forget his youthful spring. The child whose childhood should not be snatched by the annoying or any kind of fear that he's having of the teacher. So he should not be taken away, his youth should not be taken away with so much of pressure of anything. So the child is actually comparing himself with a bird who is tied in a cage, and now he is also forced to sit at one place and get the boring lectures of the teachers. So he is not admiring that fact that he is happy, neither he is able to get that delight in the books, nor he is able to get the delight in the learning place wherein he is sitting. Let's move to the other stanza. Now let's move to the last stanza. O father and mother, if birds are nibbed and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Now, in the previous stanza, the child had compared himself with the bird. In this stanza, he is comparing himself with the plant. Now, O father and mother, here the child is appealing. He is requesting his father and mother and is sharing his own condition, his sad plight, wherein he is mentioning that if the birds are nibbed, birds are the sprouts, if they are destroyed and blossoms are even blown away, and if the tender, very delicate, weak plants are stripped, even they are also taken out or they are destroyed of their joy in the springing day. The flowers also blossom, the plants also feel happy, elated during the spring season. But if you will strip them, if you will take them off, if you will destroy them, how will they have joy in the springing day? By sorrow and care's dismay. Their sad plight will never make them happy. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Again, in the last stanza, he is mentioning and he is comparing himself in the summer season. How can a person, a schoolboy, during the time when he has to go to school, how can he has a joy in his school duration? Or the summer fruits appear, or the summer fruits appear, the summer season when you have fruits on the trees, in that duration you cannot have. So he is comparing himself with that situation, that during the youth time, when the child is meant to be free, when the child needs to have certain freedom in his life, to think about the outside world, to have connection with the nature, he is bound to sit at one place. He is bound to study and get the boring lectures of the teachers. So he is comparing himself with the caged bird as well as the plants. I guess I have made the explanation in detail, and I'm sure you would be able to understand once you will go through this video. Bye bye. Have a nice day. See you in the next video.